Well, hello there. It's that time again. As I say every week for how many years? It is time for our weekly tarot / astrology blog. And as usual, on this day of April the 22nd, beautiful, well, really not that beautiful of a Sunday afternoon. It's raining here in South Florida, but otherwise it's nice, okay? Here in 2018, we're going to look at some major and minor arcana from the Tarot de Marseille and touch on a little bit of astrology. And as usual, it's going to be interesting, so do stick around, please. Okay, in a moment the major arcana are going to come on the screen. They're going to descend and cover my face more or less. And the major arcana cards from the Tarot de Marseille this week are the Empress, the Moon, and the Priestess. Now here we have a scene where we have two female figures gazing upon each other. One is a ruler, the Empress. The other one, the Priestess, is a priestess. She is a soulful figure, holding her book open, her knowledge, looking upon the Empress with compassion. But between the two of them, there is a gulf. There is a divide. There is this great void space represented by the moon. There is no human population. We got two dogs barking at each other, and we have a crayfish emerging from the depths of the pond or lake. So we could say that there may be a great divide in our lives right now between ourselves and another person. I don't even want to say a group of people, okay? Because the tarot can depict groups easily enough if it wants to. It looks like there may be a divide in our life, something that is not spoken, something that may be deeply rooted. And it's maybe something that we desire to change. I mean, look at the Empress and look at the Priestess. They're pretty agreeable. They're not looking at each other with hatred. They're looking at each other from a distance and separated by what is not spoken. For there is no human speech. There is no speaking. Just barking and the crayfish coming out of the water in the Moon card. So next we'll go ahead and look at some minor arcana, because it may give us some advice, a sense of what we need to do about this. Okay, so now we're going to look at some minor arcana cards. They're going to come on the screen. We have the Five of Swords, and we have the Nine of Wands. Now, Five of Swords is generally an unhealthy situation. Okay. The Nine of Wands now represents a significant improvement. It represents perhaps speaking. Wands can be attributed in the Tarot de Marseille to air. Okay. In the Golden Dawn tradition, it would be fire. All right. But in the Tarot de Marseille, we tend to go with air for some reasons I won't go into now. It gets a little technical. But we can go with air. We can see this as wind. We can see this as speaking. We can see this as pushing through resistance and coming out and saying what we need to say, coming to that agreement, that balance that needs to be reached. So if you've got a lingering situation that is unspoken, where you feel that verbal clarity would help, this may be a good week to go ahead and look into doing that and taking care of that scenario. Okay, let's look at the astrology. Now, we don't have a lot. We have a waxing moon. It's getting bigger. Okay, it is increasing in power, so this is still a good time to do things for the law of attraction, for manifesting, attracting those things into our lives that we want to have. We don't have a lot of good aspects to work with this week. The best ones we have are going to be on Thursday and Friday. They're going to be very early in the morning. I mean, one's like 1 in the morning, the other one's like 3:28 in the morning. So you're not going to want to get up, unless you stay up all night. You're not going to directly work with that. but at least you'll have a day where the moon and the planet that rules that day are in good aspect. On Thursday, we are going to have the moon applying a sextile, which is a very friendly aspect, to Jupiter. So this would be a decent day for something for abundance, manifesting more money, employment if you need it, trying to get things flowing. And then on Friday, on Venus Day, we have the moon applying a trine aspect to Venus, which is a very nice aspect, better than a sextile. Okay? We can see the sextile is shaking hands. We can see the trine is a big hug. Okay? So this would be a good time for a love spell, attracting a relationship, solving interpersonal problems. This might be an attractive time to do that. Then next Sunday, a week from today, on the, I believe the 29th, we are going to have a full moon in Scorpio. Okay, there's no other aspects that day. There's nothing else that I really need to talk about. Just we do have that full moon. And so after that, the moon is waning in power, decreasing, a time for banishing. Well, there you go. There's your weekly dose of tarot and astrology. I do thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. All these years. Thank you. And until I see you next week, many, many blessings.